Evening all, and welcome back to Factory Town. So, there has been another major update. We're on 058 now. In fact, there's been a major update and a few minor ones as well. Lots of little minor ones to try and fix lots of bugs going on here. Christmas is almost upon us, so obviously development will stop for a few weeks over time, and Eric wanted to get the game in a stable state, and quite happy with that. There's been, I think, about 6 updates in the last 2 days. But the major updates are 2 recipes. You saw before, obviously, there's lots of new recipes added, but now farms and other buildings can do multiple recipes. You'll see here, this one has got 6 recipes currently in it. If we go to recipes, we can tick which ones we want it to do and which ones we don't. So I'm going to untick those 2 because I don't ever use them. It actually does kind of highlight the ones that it can use. I can turn on pair if I want to. If you just click one of them, it switches to one of them. But if you actually tick the boxes, you can do. You can also shift click, I think it is. Yeah. And there's an auto manage as well, which will basically, I think everything's set to auto manage. It would automatically, for farms, pick whatever crop is available at the time, which is fantastic. But I'm going to leave that. I don't want the water or fertilizer, but they're never going to have the resources for it, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's going to be fairly easy. Storage, input and output. I think the output and the storage also adjust depending on what you put inside the farm, so that works. Houses have exactly the same thing. This is a level 3 house, so you can see it can only upgrade those there. It can't upgrade speciality goods. It can't consume speciality goods, whereas level 4 ones can. But you could still choose to turn it off. You could say, nope, you're not going to get any speciality goods if you want to. Yeah, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to do that to a house. I suppose. No, I can't think of any reason. I suppose if you only had very few speciality goods, but then you wanted to sell to whatever houses it could. Mines have exactly the same thing as well. Also, mines are now affected this week. In my previous episode, I did a big test with mines and found they weren't being affected by population. They now are. Apparently that's been fixed. That was a bug. So that's going to be good there. And resources to put down, like stone, coal, iron, all cost different amounts now. So it makes more sense to do things. May have to go through and have another look at how these work to find out whether our system over here... whether this is still as efficient or not, I'm not sure. You see, this is only at 120% now. That's at 120. And so you can tick and turn off whatever you want. So, I suppose the advantage that would be that you could... I mean, hold on, what's that? The advantage would be, like here, for instance. I could put down a mine right there, and tell it I only want iron. Don't output any mana raw. That would eat that iron up. Also, they do actually consume resources. So when these run out, they will disappear. It doesn't replant them, I believe. I might be misreading that. I hope I am. But from what I understand, it doesn't. They actually do get used up. So I've got to keep a bit of an eye on that. Because if I end up without anything, without any resources, I'm going to be a little bit stuffed for that. I might put another barn down somewhere and just have some of these in storage doing nothing, just out the way. Also, there's been a change of the bars, the texture change. I like that. It's a bit more subtle. I kind of like that as well. Things are a lot smoother as well. There's not the stuttering we're getting before that we had. I think that's about it. There's a few other places. Obviously, if buildings only have one recipe, I don't think you can change them. These have only got one recipe, so you can't select them at all. That obviously is picking up 5 different things, so that's working. I'm not sure the icons on them been enlarged. I think they have. I do notice now that resources are showing on top of pushers. You see there, there's a resource on that conveyor belt, and it's actually showing through the pusher, or the grabber. Sorry. See there, grabber, that's showing coal there. Before it was hidden below that. I like that. That's another good quality of life sort of thing. The resources might be larger. I'm not sure. But I just like that you can see it now. So when I come say, it doesn't work with bread. Maybe that was the same before and I didn't notice that. Doesn't work with the fertilizer or bits and pieces, but yeah. Oh yes, and this is something as well. Obviously the pastures you can set to multiple ones. So you could have one pasture doing all of these, and if you feed it enough stuff it'll keep up, but you probably wouldn't. The kind of advantage of that would be that for my setup here, this one's always full, it's always done, because it's always got resources in it. So I could tell this one to also do leather. And it would do one leather, one wool, one leather, one wool, one leather. I believe, unless the wool output's full, then it would just do leather. So there'd be no more of your things sitting around doing nothing. If that makes any sense, there's no more of your like that was full on wool, so it obviously wasn't taking any more resources in because we had filters going on here. But now I could get rid of these filters. I could get rid of that, turn that way, and just have it do that. And then this would also produce leather if it has spare leather, and we can just do that, I suppose. Put a grabber on there, put the grabber to leather. I'm being very confident this is going to work, and I've not tested it. I've actually not even unpaused the game since I've loaded it, so I don't know whether any of my other recipes are going to break. But that's how I think it works. But I could also turn off that one and do the same for that one. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave that one as it is. But that means that we've got wool and leather, and then just leather, and then just beef in that one there. Let's unpause it and just see whether that does actually work. Let's see here. We're doing... I know it does. It's got a weird flickering thing going on there. That... Not really sure why that is flickering like that. Probably, I think that seems to be just a visual bug on the... Oh no, flickering on that one too. Not quite sure about that. That's just a visual bug, I think. It's still working. You see, it is doing one leather, one wool, one leather. Obviously, wool's going to take priority because it has 2 animal feed, so it gets done first, and then the leather will come along afterwards. But that's going to work for us there. The other advantage of having this multiple recipe thing, which I really like the idea of, is like here, for instance, I've got one workshop producing wheels, and then that workshop's going into there. I could instead set this workshop to produce wheels and conveyor belts, and it would then take wood in, produce a wheel, and the wheel it produces would go into its inventory to be used for the conveyor belts. So instead of having 2 workshops, I could just have one with multiple recipes inside. That is an idea I really like, especially here. I've got 3 machine shops doing all the same thing. I would probably leave that as it is, with the exception of these 2. I would combine these 2 together. Iron wheels and iron gears. I'd combine together. And then have them produce one of each, really, and just go along and have the same here. Filter, go into a barn, and once it's once one's full, it will just switch over to the other one, or it would do both at the same time if it had enough resources. So that would just shrink that down there. You could, in theory, have it do all 3 of them, and then... In fact, we don't need gears, to be honest with you. So the machine shop itself could produce... Sorry, we don't need wheels. Wheels are for the minecarts. Minecarts. But you could have the one machine shop here producing gears, and it would take the iron in, because iron just requires gears. The gears just require iron, sorry, that around. And then it would produce the gear would go into its inventory, and it would use the gear to make the conveyor belts. So that's just, I like that idea. I like that a lot. I'm not sure if we need gears or anything. It doesn't Half the drill does require gears, so we would have to have some gears there. But then we could have the gears outputting. You can have a grabber on the side saying take gears, and it would take gears out of it. So that is always an option. Always an option. I just love the updates. Just keep coming, and they're fantastic. I'm loving all of them. Right, so now we have done that. These barns are full of everything here. I'm going to leave this set up like this for the moment. I think off camera I'm going to have a look, see whether I can figure out if this is still quicker than doing it separately. Basically I'll do it off camera so that I can save the game, check it, and then reload it without wasting the resources again, because I want to keep the resources. But we have enchanted stone here going along, doing its thing. You are producing enchanted stone, are you not? Yes, you are. Keeping an eye on these recipes is going to be an interesting thing. I do like the auto manager the farms though. I think that's really good. The auto manager the farm and the mines, the gathering ones, because that basically means for the mines I could put down a layer of iron around the outside. Because it's auto managed, they would automatically switch to grabbing iron as well. So that's always good. I don't think our power system having any issues. Apparently that's doing a none. Do you want to have a quick check, make sure everything is kind of working? They can pack and unpack at the same time. Not really sure you'd ever want to do that, but these are doing their things. Ah, that's, I think, something else that has changed. Maybe? Hold on. Something doesn't feel right here. No, I think something is wrong here. I think the packages are actually outputting their items rather than the item crate. Which is not correct. No, you're definitely getting grain in you. Okay, right. So have a small bug going on there then, by the looks of it. So I just noticed our trains were picking up corn or grain rather than. Yeah, okie dokie, right. That can be fixed with some grabbers, luckily. And we just set them to package items. That's item crate. Packable item crate. Hold on. Item crate. Item crate. Okay. And there we go, we're now getting crates coming out. Okay. I wonder whether that is just because I need to replace the packages down. That could be it. I'm not sure. Let's have a quick look. It may be that the new system has just broken them, so let's copy that. Place a new one down. Want it to pack items into crate, please. Let's remove the grabber. Let's turn the farm on. Nope. Packages are outputting whatever they got in the input before they package it. Okay. Found a bug. Found a few bugs. Should probably report them. In fact, I think I will do that. And I will do that right now, in fact, before I carry on, because I remember last time we found a few bugs and I said, oh, I'll report them, and then carried on playing and forgot. So, that should be right back. Okay, and bug report done. So let's see, what were we doing? We were working on mana. I want to get my metal conveyors to work this way, which does mean I need more than just what we have. We need I don't know what we need. Hold on a moment. I thought I unlocked metal conveyor, mana conveyor, sorry, but it doesn't appear as if I had. Did I not have a cart going back and forwards? I do have a cart going back and forwards. He's just taking his time, which, yeah, okay. Oh, something else I need to triple check. Oh yes, I reassigned to fish. As mentioned last in the comments to an episode or two ago, obviously we've got our worker here grabbing these apple trees. It'd be quicker for him to put in a box and then filter them back, but I would just give him something to do. Really, it was just there was no rush to clean them trees. It was just something to do, and then I had a worker grabbing trees, but it appears that at that sort of distance he breaks for some bizarre reason. Don't know why. So I reassigned him down here, but now he's struggling to keep up with fish. Not really sure why he's struggling. Oh, because you bring back 8 fish. I thought the fishing boat brought back 4 fish at a time. Apparently brings back 8. That would explain why you're doing that. And fish are only worth 1, aren't they? Oh, they're all from red coin. Right. Okay. And that's not a problem. That's not a problem. There is an admin command you can use as well to generate fish in the sea. So I could generate some that are closer, but I'm not all that fussed about that. I'm happy with that carrying on there. That's just purely a thing. I think you're supposed to unlock this a lot earlier than I did. So I already passed it by the time we got to it. So yeah, not really ideal, but right. You're doing your thing. You're doing your thing. We need people. People is definitely still a problem here. But I do think I can get a lot by changing some things up here. A rail depot is still doing bits and pieces. Not sure why that's full. You should be full. I don't remember putting another mine down, but I need to move all this over to there, which I can't really do without people. I do have the ability to put down. Oh, wait, 40 houses? I thought we were on 30. Base level 8. Did I upgrade? We did upgrade the base again. But I'm confused, but no, it doesn't matter. Also, apparently it's going to cost 7.5 yellow coins. Which is a very odd number. I think that's supposed to be 7.5k. And it just says 7.5, so yeah, right. Anyway, so I do have a lot more houses put down, which is good, I suppose. But I need wood. Wood is a bit of a problem at the moment. I need I don't need lumber. I need wood. Actual normal everyday wood. Oh, we do have a worker grabbing wood from the forester. That's not particularly quick, is it? I've also... What are you doing? Why are you dropping things off in there? What are you... You're supposed to take from that crate. Take from that crate. Put in that workshop. How strange. He obviously got a weird... Oh, he might have been set on just take it from wherever he could do. And obviously that's now become the closest resource for leather, because... Yeah. We do appear to be having a sort of a problem here with our packages now, because it turns out the outputs of these farms have dropped quite dramatically. So that's a thing. Yeah, they're definitely not outputting as fast as they were before. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am actually going to put in another cut here, and I am going to design a town up here. And I'm going to make it look kind of good, with a bit of logistics to it, I think. Or at least I'm going to put the road layout down, and then we can move the houses in as and when we can expand it as I go. Because right now, these... You can see the camera's very, very... Oh, that's better. That's... Middle click speeds camera. These can deliver to anywhere. So right now, this setup will work no matter where our houses are. So I could just move the houses over, leave gaps for some of these buildings, and yeah, that's what I think I'll do. So I will be right back once I've got a sort of design going. Okay, and here, as you can see, is kind of the idea that I had. Each house has got its own little fence and garden. It just makes it look a bit more like a town. It's got bits and pieces. Some have got trees in the garden, apple trees, normal trees, a bit of stone poking around. Area over here. It's all sort of mixed up. There's a double road down the centre, and there's going to be one going this way as well. The food warehouse is here. It's not obviously set up yet, but the idea is going to be that that's all quite compact there. The silo will output onto the conveyor to the packager. The packager will unpackage and drop the stuff off in the market. So we could have, outside of town, here somewhere, a train station, a proper station, where all the trains come along, drop off their packaged goods into barns or silos or something, and then we can actually have carts running around town dropping things off. I would need to make sure I space the shops out and make sure the shops are always on a double road, because otherwise I'm going to end up blocking something up, and I reckon it's going to go up and around and all over the place to try and get out. But it'll just make the town look a bit sort of busier and a bit like a town, like it's actually going. But that's the idea I've got. They all look kind of nice. Once I get some more herbs and other bits and pieces, I might put some like herbs, bits of grain in the gardens as well, just to make it look good. Oh, you haven't got cabbage. You know, apple tree. They're all level 1 houses at the moment, so our happiness has dropped dramatically. There is a small problem we have as well of everything is basically dying off, not just because of happiness, but because the farm outputs have changed a lot. The speed has come right down on them. So I don't know whether I just set it to green. Does that help? Let's not even think about doing the rest. I don't think it does. No, it doesn't appear to be. So we need to do something with this here. There are going to be additional changes to the farms that I've seen. The plan is going to be that instead of the farm being in the centre, it's going to be offset. So the farm will like take a bit of land behind it, which I kind of like the idea of, because then, well, either you can have multiple farms farming the same bit of land, which you can kind of do now anyway, or it means that you could have a farm with a field behind it, and then another farm with a field behind it, or even one farm with multiple fields of different types. You could have a small field of corn, a small field of herbs, rather than it being blocked out there. But speaking of herbs, this is dead completely. This is just really struggling. Do herb and grain for that one, but this is not producing enough herbs now to do anything really. So Our remedies have come to a stop. Our happiness has dropped down to 156%. Obviously, that is a issue as well because we're our houses have now dropped down. I got rid of loads of level 3 ones and moved them over there in level 1. So we're just after food. We might have to start from scratch for the food system. Not start from scratch, but you know what I mean. Redesign the entire food system there. Busy little worker who was doing the trees. You're done. You have successfully managed to harvest all the trees, and now I don't know what to do with you. And you back on there. I did have the fish going on there. I also put in a chute here to get more wood because those fences require. Actually, I've got 2 action bars set up down here. 1 F2. Those fences require 4 logs to put in, and there isn't a corner piece. You've got that or that, and they don't interact, and you can't cross them. If you could cross them, that would work so well. Or if they were like chutes, where if you did that, they would know what you're doing. But they don't cross for chutes. We need corner pieces. We need these to be like chutes. So when I push R, they go round. Right now I'm doing that for pens, which works. Obviously, it blocks them off, but it doesn't. If I could even do that, and you'd have the little cross piece in the end, it would be fine. But no. Right now we haven't got that. So obviously, because our farm production has stopped down, that means our system here for the leather isn't working anyway because this just is not going fast enough. The packages are still kind of working, but the farms are just not. I could put more people into them, I think, just to set them all just to grain. Don't think that matters at all because they're not actually doing anything else. They can't do the other 2, but we're just doing that there. Things are starting to pick up a little bit though, because now we've got the houses and we are delivering fish as well. I think that's making more people happy. I was saying about not knowing why you'd want to turn off some of these here, but I suppose if, like my situation now, I'm not getting enough cake because we're not getting any eggs. Is it eggs? No, milk. We're not getting enough milk. And we're not getting milk because well, this grey mill is completely starved because this is only outputting enough for 1 place because it's doing so many things. So what I might actually do is I might tell you to do grain, sugar, and berries. Grain, sugar, and berries. There we go. And ignore the apples completely, and then we'll let the apples burn out on us, and we'll be done. Yeah, we'll let the apples go. Because I don't need the apples. It can run completely off berries, that one there. So, as was pointed out, you can make jam out of any fruit. It can be apple, berries, or pears. Any of them, it doesn't matter. So, and unfortunately, that just isn't. It just isn't keeping up now. The farms have been nerfed. Definitely nerfed, which is a good thing. I do remember saying a while ago that it felt like the farms were overpowered. So that's kind of a good thing. So that now means that I would have to change up this whole system. Maybe have a farm doing sugar and berries and another one just doing grain to supply all these. So yeah, and of course, I could, if actually, hold on. Let's change this up slightly, shall we? Let's remove that grain mill. Because what we can do, I'm also going to remove all these. They're not wired now, I don't think. There's hopefully. Probably will be. What we can do is I can put in now the second one of these. I'm going to put it in the centre because I want to. And grab a splitter and do that. And then we do that. So, now what we can do is we can tell you do flour and animal feed. And then I have to turn it around so it doesn't auto output. And then we can do 2 grabbers. 1, 2. And we can say you are going to grab flour. And you are going to grab animal feed. And I'm still not sure what linking up these two does, so I shall turn that off again. And then that one place can do both. In fact, it will probably prioritise the animal feed because that's only 2 corn. Yep, I think the animal feed is going to be the one that's get priority there. So I think that'll be okay. Bread. It's definitely the butter that we have the problem with. So that's not really an issue there. And of course, I could then change up this. I'm just thinking you could, in theory, have the one kitchen cook both breads, and then have to have jam and berries coming into that. That would require a bigger redesign than I'm willing to do. But I kind of want to show you that internal thing where they work internally. So well, I've already stopped that working, and this is stopped now. Yep, this is all backed up. I stopped that working to fill up on iron a little while ago, so that's fine. You're still going around delivering that there. Takes a lot to do, but I don't know if he's up to the task or not. He seems to be. Yeah, I can't really do that until those gears run out. So for the minute, that's going to be kind of stuck, but not really anything I can do here either to get that working. So yeah, I can't really actually show you what I mean. I'm sure you understand what I mean, but I just physically showing it is sometimes easier than trying to explain it. Now, obviously, you've seen there you've got 2 output recipes, and that's outputting and doing its bits and pieces. But I wonder if there could be 2. No, that is the ideal place to do it, but I can't do it there. Unless I want to get another stockpile of conveyor belts. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I think I may do that. I think I may grab a second stockpile of across the road. It's not ideal, it's in the way of that there, but it's only a temporary thing because I am going to probably need a lot of these conveyor belts. Move things around there. Plus I do want to filter these out a little bit because I need to get this all basically filtered down. So yeah, I don't want to lose the resources here. So let's put in a thing above this. As being pointed out that apparently you've got scaffold block, wooden arches, stone arches, and wooden pillars. And I believe I'm saying pillars are cheaper. They may have been prior to this patch. I don't know. But right now they all cost exactly the same amount of resources, whether I put a block in, an arch, or a scaffold. So I'm not really sure. The only thing about the scaffolds that I've noticed that I do kind of like is that when you go up, you can't go across with them. You need to put in something else. They have to have a scaffold at the bottom. But when you put an actual conveyor in, it sits inside the scaffold rather than on top. Whereas if I put the like wooden arch in, 3 wooden arches, and then do that, it sits on top. What that basically means, at least what I think that means, is if I was to go with a one button, scaffold block, sorry, a wooden pillar, I could do that, oh dear, that was a mistake. Oh, that's fine for a minute, just for testing purposes. That, and then that, and that. And in theory, you can put in 4 layers of conveyor belts. There are 4 exit points there, and I believe that does still work on the top row. Let's put one there. It does. You see that just taking it out there? If I now put in an arch, and if I put in a wooden arch there, and then put scaffold on it, so put a it's on the second row, but I can't put one underneath it. The terrain is too steep apparently. So one there we go. If I put in a wooden arch, that would actually block that conveyor from going any further. It blocks it. So that is a good thing. I do kind of like that. You could really cram in some stuff there. It'd be very difficult to see what's doing what. You'd have to definitely layer it up. But for mass movement of something, that could be quite useful. I mean, like for instance, a mine output, if it was, mines don't seem to be outputting that fast, or I was going to say a farm output, which now don't output that fast, but you can have one row with 4 conveyors inside it, output into something. So that is potentially something that could be very, very quick at transporting stuff. Also combines things down a lot smaller, makes life easier. You just obviously can't use the scaffold blocks as because they don't float. You have to use either, right, they're not called scaffold blocks. You can't use the pillar scaffolding to go out. They will not add on to things. They must have something underneath them. Whereas the scaffold block will go out, and the wooden arch will go out. So that's the difference. And the difference between the scaffold block and the arch is basically you can put a conveyor underneath the arch, and it will go. So yeah, but yeah, thought I'd explain that there. I don't know why it's been pointed out. I think a few people actually pointed it out. So it may have been that previously, as said, they were cheaper, but now they're not. So now they are exactly the same price. 3, and then put a wooden arch on top. No, sorry, because you can go 4 with that one because it sits inside. So I've got to go 2 scaffold and then 1 there, and then I have to do that. And you see that works. The other thing about them as well is obviously, if I put that down there, it puts the road on top of it, which is interesting. I didn't know it did that. But my wagons can't get underneath there. They can't do that. So that's something that can't be done. But with these, they can. I could do that, and the wagons can still get through there. They can still quite happily get through there. Somehow I've managed to get a road on top. But wagons will travel through that there. So aesthetically, I suppose that looks a little bit better. Right, let's grab a grabber and let's tell you to actually do what we were doing. Sorry, I went off on a little bit of a tangent there. For 2 reasons. One, because I thought I was going mad when people have been saying to me, "Oh, use the pillar scaffolding; it's cheaper." And I looked at it and no, but then it might have been before this patch. I don't know. For the latest patch, I don't know. But also, I was just sort of looking at it going, I kind of like that. If that was over 1 more, I'd actually have a whole gap underneath there and then have the scaffold underneath it. I kind of like the idea of the scaffold being, the pillars being there. This looks really weird. it looks long and thin and spindly and very odd. Whereas if I grabbed that and went like that and put it in the wrong place. So right, take two. If I did that, then it's just supported. It just looks as if it's supported a little bit. So you know, I couldn't do it in the trees. There's trees in the way, but I could do it there. There. That's where I meant to do it first time. Honest, you believe me? And it looks supported. It looks like it's designed for it. So I'm not going to do that everywhere, because most of these are temporary. But if I were to build any bridges or anything over here, I would try and make them look in line. I might have a bridge. I might have a river sort of come down and do something in this one. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of these staggered houses on the outside just being as they are. Some of these houses are getting food. Not many though. We were struggling for that. Excuse me. Right. Okay, so let's remove that workshop. Gone. Right. You are producing metal conveyors at a extortionately slow rate. But that's absolutely fine. Let's add more workers to you to speed you up. Just temporarily. And I can hopefully show off what I wanted to show off back at the beginning of the episode. Once we use up all them gears. Oh, excuse me again. I do really need to figure something out here though, because this is just not working at all. We're not even running one grain mill, let alone two of them now. So yeah, we are definitely struggling for things. You're not getting any resources at all, because we're only filling up to about 7 before this is done. I could fix it by adding more workers to it as a temporary solution, but it's not really a priority. I am a little bit reluctant to redesign all this, because I know there are plans to the farms coming, changes to the farms coming, so I'm just reluctant to do any major change to it. But then they may not come before Christmas. From the way I think things were being said on the Discord server, I don't think we're going to see any more major changes before Christmas, New Year, which makes sense. It is the holiday season, so you know, everyone deserves a break. Why not? Right. Okay. So are we done here? We are done here. Awesome sauce. Right. Let's switch that one over to being metal conveyors. Although we do need gears, don't we? But no, let's switch that back to being gears, just in case we're going to need them at some point. And oh, that was interesting. Hold on. Find me another grabber. A filter grabber. There. If I press the remove block there, then click on that. Interestingly, I removed the filter from the grabber, not the grabber itself. There, which is why it's grabbed the. I wonder whether that was a feature that I had missed. But maybe it's just because it was an old grabber, had a different logic built into it. I don't know. Maybe not. Right. Okay. So this is now out of gears, as you can see. Out of gears, can't make any more metal conveyors. It's also going to run low on cloth, because I removed the cloth because we were filtering it down. But if I go into this and I say, you also make gears. Now, I'm not sure whether the order of things matters. I'll show you that. If I pause it and turn on gear, gear comes down the bottom. And if I cancel out of it and click it again, it saves the order of them. I don't know if that matters or not. Whereas if I untick both of them, and then tick gear first and then metal conveyor second, the gear comes first. As I said, I don't know whether that means priority to gears. I suppose the best way to find that out would be to untick that and do that. Because then that requires 4 iron plates and that requires 1 iron plate. So that, right, let's turn it on now. And you'll see gears stop producing. Put them. And oh, hold on. Right, yeah, gears are producing, but obviously we get a problem here of I'm not really sure how that got on the conveyor belt. Yeah, gears start producing, but it's going to auto output whatever it's got. So I'd have to stop that. Can't have the auto output going on there. I've got to say, I would like the option to be able to turn off that auto output, to not have a machine automatically output, so you have the opportunity to do it yourself. Grab a grabber and do metal conveyor belts, and unpause it again, and you'll see we go 1 gear, and then when we go 2 gears, they disappear and they turn up inside because it's now making metal conveyor belts. So it's used its internal storage to produce what it needed to produce, which is fantastic. That is going to cause a small problem, however, when it comes to getting gears out of there, because it requires 2 gears to make a conveyor, so I would need some way of taking out the gears, but only when the metal conveyor system's full. But anyway, that is what I mean by you can combine things down. You can shrink things right down to do that. So that can now produce both of those. I could even have it producing iron wheels as well if I wanted to, and then have the iron wheels come out separately. But I'm going to try another experiment as well here. I don't think I can do because I'm going to be out of cloth. Do I have a Wagon, come back. Stop, Wagon, stop. You worker, you can do the fish once the fish comes back. Come here. Wagon. There you go. Grab me some cloth and drop it in there. That was a very interesting route. But I suppose is the quickest, is it? I need to build you a better route, don't I? We're going to use let's use these wooden pillars. I need to put wooden pillars down there on my I put a wooden pillar there because that doesn't get affected at all by it. We'll put a scaffold block there, we'll put a wooden arch there, we'll grab the wooden road there, and then one there, and now that wagon can go to that barn via that little road, which is a little bit quicker, I think. Yes, it is. But of course we're out of wheels, which is okay. So I was putting this all down. Let's turn it back on again for the minute. Right. Okay. So right. You can stop. You can deliver those and then stop. You would be so kind. Right. if we now turn on that pusher as an experiment here. Right, no, it looks as if it made all the gears first. So it's whatever comes up as if it doesn't have the resources to make the first one, it will go on to the second one. The order of the recipes doesn't appear to matter. I just wondered whether it might, having the order like that, it might hold 4 iron plates and then wait for the next resource. And then once it's got the 4 iron plates, it would then let the gears go. But it doesn't appear to be the situation here. It appears to be that it's just going to make the iron plates whichever way it wants to go. So, okay, now I know that. That's something else that has been tested and done. I'm going to delete that cart. I'm going to tell you to drop off your stone into there. You might as well grab some more logs. I think we'll just use up whatever's left in here, and then this will all grind to a halt. And then the next episode I can look at moving them over, because we have a spare bit of people. And I have potentially a lot more people, because I'm going to upgrade these houses obviously to higher levels if I want to. But yeah, do let me know what you think of the town. It does look a little sparse for the moment. I mean, obviously, I think I got grain, haven't I? Got some grain. Can I just put grain on the floor? I can just put grain on the floor, so I could put some grain there. I don't really think I want to put grain down in the houses. Herbs I wouldn't mind, because you could have a little herb garden going. That'd be fine. Can't really think of anything else that I might want to put down. We obviously do have many other things I've never even seen. Berries, carrots, potatoes. Some people might have some of those in their gardens. So we could fill up the gardens with these things. I will have to cheat these 5 in. I think that's the only ones we're missing. Yes, yeah, those 5. We'll have to cheat some of those in to get them in, because they're not available on this map. But not really a problem. You're full of enchanted stone. So man, that came to a halt because I was filtering things around and changed things. But yeah, let me know what you think of the town. Obviously, that's probably about a quarter of it. I don't have the intention of building it in a circle. I'm going to just, although now I've said that, I don't like the idea of doing it. An unconditional circle there. But that is 5, 10, 30, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 houses. We have 40. So I could put another house in here somewhere, and that will become half a houses. So I think I'm going to expand it out a bit more linearly. We'll do a few more around here and a few more around there. Be another shop down this corner, probably a shop up here, and then down there. The food market's going to be probably kind of the centre of town, I think. And then we have one down there, one over here, and then our train station up here somewhere, and all our goods will come to it and then be delivered to the 4 different places via probably carts, I think. I'm not sure yet. I put them on double paths, and I'm going to keep them on double paths in case I do want to put a rail system in. So we could have a rail system come in and snake through to where we need it to go. But we shall see. We shall see. I think the food is something that we're going to have to probably prioritise a little bit. But anyway, that's where we're going to bring this episode to a close. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope to see you again next time. And until then, as always, have fun.